My wife betrayed me with my stepfather. I want to tell my mother. My wife and I have been married for 4 years. We argue sometimes over little things, but I love her with all my heart. There's never been anything wrong until now. I thought we were happy. I always treated her right and listened to her. I took her out whenever she wanted and studied with her. By the way, this comes from Times Q Streets, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So, she doesn't work because she's getting her degree right now, so I gladly pay for everything and work overtime constantly because I wanted her to be great. She goes to classes nearly full time and spends the rest of her time home or at her school library. I'm not close to my mother at all, but I see her from time to time. Recently, we've been trying to reconnect, but she's just really not a good person. She was horrible to me growing up, but I tried to forgive her for her personality and actions. She has a lot of bad habits and had 2 failed marriages with really crappy dudes. She recently got remarried to another man 2 years ago. Let's call him X. My mother invites me and my wife, and it's the first time they all meet. Probably 4th time I've met him since they married fairly quickly. He seemed okay, just really didn't like his vibe too much. But I gave him the benefit of the doubt because at the end of the day, it's her life, not mine, and we aren't even close. Last year, X asks for help remodeling my mother's house for the day. My wife suggests that we stay for the week and make it a bonding thing. I agreed. I thought we could all do things together, but we ended up breaking into little teams. X and my wife really hit it off, and I'm not very good with construction and renovation related things. I ended up going out with my mother a few times to eat in an attempt to bond with her. It was weird, but we tried. My wife stayed behind, and I helped X remodel. Her family is really involved in the construction and engineering world, so she knew much more than I did about how to help fix the house up. They seemed to be really close that week, aka sharing jokes and laughing a lot when I wasn't around, and super animated conversations, but I didn't think much of it because I assumed she was just being nice to my new stepfather. Anyway, I trusted my wife. She started going back over to my mother's house to help X out afterwards. They live almost an hour away, so it's out of the way. I noticed when she'd be coming home way later than normal and decided to take the train instead of me picking her up. She kept saying library at first before she admitted to going there to help renovate, since I wasn't much help in terms of helping my mom fix up the place. It was like once or twice a week. This started happening early this year. When the house was finished late spring, they kept hanging out, which I didn't mind. I guess that makes me stupid. When her classes ended in summer, we stopped spending as much time together, but she made nothing seem wrong. She seemed happy. Our spicy sleep life was the same. We were trying for a baby. Everything was good, even communication. I tried to go with her to my mom's place, but she was usually with her friends when she wasn't home, and I didn't really like X's humor and mannerisms. I didn't mind, I worked a lot and liked to be alone sometimes. A few weeks ago, she got home late again and went to shower. I always joked that she'd use up all the city's water with how long she showered. She was in there a bit, probably 1 a.m., when her phone pinged and vibrated. It does this like 4 to 5 times in a few minutes. Anyway, I didn't want to invade her privacy, but that's very abnormal. I tapped her screen to see what it was, and I recognized the number. It was X's. He sent multiple MMS messages with his face and pictures of himself. There were replies from her with photos that were resaved. Just a lot of words I haven't processed yet. I took an extended screenshot of it, took a few minutes, and mailed it to myself and put the message on unread so she wouldn't know I saw. I really wish I didn't. I really would have honestly just not have known and kept everything perfect. There are months of texts, blocks of texts and photos and heart emojis. I took a few days off work the following morning and flew down to see an old friend who lives in the Midwest. He's hooking me up with a month-to-month studio, no questions asked, since we don't talk much anymore. She doesn't know I'm leaving in January, which is when our lease is up. I told her it was a trip for work, and she just smiled and told me to have fun and that she'd miss me. I came back, and she didn't seem any different. Our anniversary is the day before Christmas Eve. I haven't told my mother, not sure how or if I want to. I haven't told anyone except you, Reddit. I want to get out of here, and I want to be alone and think. It's been a while, but I still haven't had the heart to go through all of the texts and photos. I feel like reading it all would make it all worse for me. I already feel broken and empty. I left my friends behind for her and started a life with her. I thought she was happy. We have been trying to get pregnant slightly before and around the time that I found out, and we're supposed to go to check in with the docs after the holidays. I need some time to think, and I need to know how to fix this with my wife. How do I tell my mother? I love my wife with everything. She's all I have. I gave her everything these last 4+ years. I can't just divorce. I'm not going to follow in my mother's footsteps. I know it all seems outrageous given that he's married to my mother, but I don't have anyone else to talk to. I was supposed to be home 5 hours ago, but I don't think I can lay next to her anymore. I've been forcing myself to try and get over it and hope it just goes away, and it makes me feel more and more disgusted with myself. I'm probably going to sleep in my car tonight. She's already called me 3 times, and I'm just exhausted emotionally. It hurts ignoring her calls. I'll try to check back for any answers later tomorrow if I have the time. I'm sorry if this post was a waste of your time, but I hope you have advice. I wasn't going to update as I'm not on here often, and after going through some of my comments, I didn't know what to say, but things have changed since my first post. After my post, I slept in my car for a few hours and tried to go back to work. I spent the entire day overthinking and crying, honestly. My boss suggested that I take some extra time off, and I agreed. I've built up a very substantial amount in savings that can cover us for a few years, so I'm not worried about money. My wife called and texted me 20+ times, and I didn't answer. The comments I got telling me my wife was some horrible person and that I should leave her didn't help. I appreciate so many people offering what they think was the right move, but they don't know my wife. She's the best thing that has ever happened to me, and before her, my life just felt like I was on autopilot. I decided after I left work that I couldn't go home because I didn't want to break it down in front of her, but I also couldn't just keep ignoring her. So I texted her, letting her know that I know what she did, and I wasn't ready to talk yet, but I'll be willing to talk at the end of the week. I got an Airbnb for a few days and finally agreed to go home and talk to her. It was the hardest talk I've ever had with someone. The problem was I wasn't really around, and I was always working overtime, and he made her feel wanted. And I see now that I should have tried harder to be there for her. I told her that it really hurt me finding out, though I haven't yet told her how I know, especially considering he's literally married to my mother and all the times I've picked her up or dropped her off from spending time with him. She apologized profusely. She told me it only happened once, and then she admitted to texting him. She promised to never speak to him again. She was a mess. I was a mess. I told her that I was considering spending some time in Iowa at an old friend's place after our lease ended, but then she broke the best possible news. She's preggers! I was apprehensive at first, but she promised me that they had only ever been physical once, and that was at the beginning of the year, which wouldn't add up to her being pregnant now. We were intimate a few weeks prior to this post, so I'm sure it's fine. She convinced me to stay, and I promised her we would fix this together. My father ditched me at a young age and left me with my mother. I'm not going to abandon my wife and my child over one mistake. I'm not like my father or my mother. I'm going no contact with both X and my mother. My wife suggested a clean break from them would be the best move for our new family. So I guess that means I will not be telling my mother about what happened, nor will I confront X about this. We're also considering whether we should move out of the state or renew our lease since this is all last minute. She wants to finish getting her degree before we make any rash decisions, which makes sense, but being so close to my mother and X doesn't help. Thank you all for your time and understanding. I'm sorry if this wasn't the kind of update you were looking for, but you have to put your feelings aside for the good of your family. My trust can be rebuilt. I know I will never find another person who loves me the way she does, and when you find that, I feel like you should hold on to that. I don't have anyone else here, and I don't think I'd be able to live if she left me. I considered self-harm when I found out, but I'm happy I didn't, and we are now working on our marriage. I'm going to invest more time doing everything I can to make her happy. Have a beautiful New Year's, everyone. Edit. A lot of people are being unnecessarily rude and sending me messages calling me and my wife names. I want to clarify, I do not believe my wife would lie to me about a child. That's a monumental lie and something we couldn't recover from. She knows that. This is also the first and last time anything like this has ever happened with us. I don't think a paternity test is necessary due to the fact that they've only been together once, and that was a long time ago. Her pregnancy correlates with the last time we had spicy sleep, and it makes sense. My wife wouldn't take advantage of me like that. She made a mistake, but she's not a bad person. I made a lot of mistakes too that pushed her to cheat. I'm not stupid and I know how it looks, but I know my wife wouldn't just use me for my money. Lastly, my wife suggested that we both go no contact with my mother and X, as it would be the easiest way to focus on each other and heal. Edit number 2, I changed my mind and I've decided I'm going to talk to my wife about a paternity test tonight. as people have stated that she shouldn't have a problem with that if it is my child. And that's the end of that story.